Subscribe now. Not tomorrow. Not later. Right now. Because the second the FBI's hidden footage leaks, I'll bring it here before mainstream media buries it. Miss that moment, and you'll never know what they didn't want you to see. One shot, one collapse, and one official story that doesn't add up. The FBI has the real footage, but they won't show you. Why? What's on those tapes that could rewrite everything we've been told? Was Charlie Kirk really shot from the front, as officials insist, or is the evidence pointing somewhere else entirely? Engraved bullets recovered at the scene. DNA left on a rooftop rifle. Digital confessions from an insider who knew more than they should have. These are the pieces they allow us to see. But the footage, the raw angles, remain locked in a federal vault. And until we see it, the question isn't just what happened. The question is, what are they hiding? Picture it. Utah Valley University. A tent packed with hundreds. The hum of debate, Charlie Kirk at the mic, pushing back against a challenge from the crowd. Then, one crack. A single shot slices the air. Kirk collapses. Panic detonates like a wave, students diving under chairs, phones shaking in their hands, voices breaking into screams. Sirens converge. Police flood the campus, sealing off every exit. Within hours, the FBI takes command, combing rooftops, chasing leads, locking down evidence before the dust even settles. But here's what they don't tell you. The moment of impact was caught on multiple cameras. Angles that show the direction, the trajectory, the truth. And yet, the FBI releases only what they choose. Edited glimpses, never the raw footage. This wasn't just an attack on one man. It was a message. A shot fired at the heart of a nation already on edge. And the one thing that could silence the rumors, calm the chaos, prove the story? The very tapes still hidden from the public eye. Picture the forensics like a sequence of footprints on a clock, each one a beat that should lead us to the truth. Cameras caught a figure moving across a rooftop, a jump from the ledge, a flight from the scene, footage the FBI itself has released in part, the very angles that point investigators to where to look next. Investigators recovered a scoped bolt-action rifle, abandoned in nearby brush and wrapped in a towel. At the scene and on the weapon, examiners documented a footwear impression, a forearm imprint, and a palm print, physical marks that put someone on that roof. Lab work tied biological material to the investigation. DNA recovered from material wrapped around the rifle and traces on the firearm itself are described by officials as a direct forensic link in the chain. Nearby, the ammunition told its own story, and used cartridges and a spent casing carrying inscriptions and online culture taunts. Investigators say those engraved messages may hint at mindset or motive, turning otherwise anonymous rounds into pieces of a much larger puzzle. Taken together, rooftop footage and imprints, a dumped rifle, matching DNA, and those inscribed rounds, federal authorities say the evidence forms a tight chain pointing to a single suspect and the charges now lodged against him. So here's the question that keeps pulling at this case. If the forensic links are this strong, if the video angles exist and the science ties a weapon to a person, why is the full, unedited footage still locked away in an FBI vault? What could those missing frames show that would close the loop or open a whole new set of questions? Tyler James Robinson, 22 years old. On paper, just another young man from Washington, Utah. A life that, until recently, looked ordinary. No headlines, no spotlight. The kind of face you'd pass on campus without remembering twice. But online, a different story unfolds. Discord chats where he allegedly confessed, "It was me at UView yesterday." Private texts to a roommate about retrieving a rifle, about leaving it wrapped for pickup. Messages that prosecutors say turn quiet anonymity into an open declaration. His ideologies weren't fixed either. Friends describe a shift, political views flipping, identity conflicts deepening, grievances multiplying. One moment, a student slipping through the cracks. The next, an accused assassin tied to engraved bullets and a rooftop vantage. The contradiction is jarring. A young man who lived quietly in public, yet left digital footprints of rage and intent. And that's the haunting question. What flips a life from routine to radical in just months? What drives someone from silence in the crowd to violence from above? And if the FBI has the footage that shows his every move, why won't we be allowed to see it? Investigators recovered a scoped bolt-action rifle, abandoned in nearby brush and wrapped in a towel. At the scene and on the weapon, examiners documented a footwear impression, a forearm imprint, and a palm print, physical marks that put someone on that roof. Lab work tied biological material to the investigation. DNA recovered from material wrapped around the rifle and traces on the firearm itself are described by officials as a direct forensic link in the chain. Nearby, the ammunition told its own story, and used cartridges and a spent casing carrying inscriptions and online culture taunts. Investigators say those engraved messages may hint at mindset or motive, turning otherwise anonymous rounds into pieces of a much larger puzzle. Taken together, rooftop footage and imprints, a dumped rifle, matching DNA, and those inscribed rounds, federal authorities say the evidence forms a tight chain pointing to a single suspect and the charges now lodged against him. So here's the question that keeps pulling at this case. If the forensic links are this strong, if the video angles exist and the science ties a weapon to a person, why is the full, unedited footage still locked away in an FBI vault? What could those missing frames show that would close the loop or open a whole new set of questions? Inside every case like this, there's someone who knows more than the rest of us ever will. For Tyler Robinson, that person was his roommate, the one who lived closest to him, saw the patterns, and eventually handed investigators the keys, text messages about the rifle, instructions about where it was left, and digital confessions that prosecutors now call crucial evidence. But here's the dilemma no one can escape. Was that act courage or self-protection? Did the roommate step forward out of loyalty to truth or simply out of fear of being implicated? Imagine it. Your closest friend admits something unthinkable. Do you protect them? Or do you hand everything to the FBI, knowing it could destroy their life forever? That's the razor edge this case forces us to walk. Cooperation with investigators versus loyalty to a friend who trusted you. It's not an easy line to draw, and it's a line we rarely see this close to power, politics, and death. So let me ask you directly, if it were you, would you turn your friend in? Or would you stay silent? Drop your answer in the comments, because silence shapes these stories as much as action does. And if you want to be part of the community that refuses to stay silent, subscribe right now. Don't just watch history unfold. Join the people determined to question it, challenge it, and expose what the FBI still won't show us. Motive. It's the heart of every case, and the most elusive piece here. Prosecutors sketch a picture of shifting ideology, a young man sliding from belief to disillusion. Friends recall identity conflicts, personal struggles, late-night rants that grew sharper and darker. And then a sudden break. A descent from routine life into calculated violence. But every motive raises another question. Who else knew? Was this truly a lone act, or did whispers of collaboration echo behind the scenes? Was the rooftop really the only firing position, or could there be another angle we haven't been allowed to see? And here's what makes the silence louder. The FBI admits it's still exploring possible accomplices. That means the story isn't finished, the circle isn't closed. Yet the one thing that could silence the doubt, confirm the trajectory, reveal exactly how this unfolded, is the very footage they won't release. So we're left hanging in the dark, chasing fragments of motive, while the clearest truth stays locked away. And the longer it stays hidden, the sharper the question cuts. Why won't they explore or release the footage that could silence doubt once and for all? The moment the shot rang out, the story exploded far beyond Utah Valley University. Headlines flooded in, some calling it a direct strike on free speech, others framing it as the inevitable result of a nation tearing itself apart. Clips went viral within hours. Shaky cell phone footage, screams caught mid-breath, edits that spread faster than fact. On Twitter, TikTok, Discord, everyone had a theory. Some swore the angle proved he was shot from the front. Others claimed the rooftop story was manufactured. Conspiracies multiplied like wildfire. And mainstream media? They played it safe. Carefully worded sound bites. Official statements recycled word for word. The hard questions, the footage, the contradictions, the missing frames pushed aside. But this isn't just about Charlie Kirk. This is about something bigger. About whether truth can even survive in an age where spin is stronger than fact and silence is more powerful than proof. And here's where you come in. Every time you share this story, every time you comment, every time you refuse to let the narrative die, you're forcing the very questions mainstream outlets want buried. You're part of the pushback against the silence. Because if the FBI holds the raw truth in their hands and still hides it from us, then the only way light gets in is if we demand it. Look at the record. Physical evidence that reads like a map, rooftop imprints, a dumped rifle, DNA links, engraved rounds. Each piece points to a conclusion. Yet the single clearest piece of evidence, the raw, unedited footage that would show trajectory, timing, and context, remains sealed away. That contradiction is the pulse of this story. Strong, pointed forensic links, and a silence so absolute it becomes its own evidence. If the case is as complete as officials say, why keep the tapes locked in a federal vault? What does omission protect? A sloppy investigation, innocent uncertainty, or something far more consequential? If the truth is on their side, why keep the tapes locked away? If you believe hiding footage is wrong, type one word in the comments: release. Don't let this die in quiet compliance. If you care about accountability, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next development. Share this video with one person who still thinks official narratives should go unchallenged, because silence only protects the powerful. This case isn't closed. New details could append everything we think we know. Until the real footage is revealed, the question we have to live with isn't only what happened, it's what are they hiding?